Ha! It's been like a week or two since I first got the Fender Tone Master Pro. When I unboxed it and made my previous video, there were some features that I couldn't use because it needed to have a firmware update that would be available on launch day. Now that Fender has released the Tone Master Pro, I've updated the firmware on day one, and I also downloaded the new Tone Central app on my computer. One of the features that I couldn't try, but I wanted to try, was to upload my own impulse responses into this unit. So I've done that right now because now I can do this with the Tone Master Pro app. And also something that I noticed now is that in the Tone Central app, you also have the cloud available. And this is where, you can download presets, you can upload presets, featured artists, popular genres, recent play, or whatever. Okay, so here you put your song presets, and here you put your set lists, so it make your set list. Okay, and here you have the impulse response manager, and it's basically drag and drop. Very simple. I basically just drag an impulse response into this window, and it's available basically. So this is in my asshole, the presets that I made in the previous video, but with one of my own impulse responses in it. Sounds pretty good. One thing that I noticed now when I played around with the app a little bit is that since it's easier for me to switch out and try out different amplifiers, I tried out the amplifiers that are in here, and I must say, there are really not that many that are good. I like the Uber one, I like the Double Rec, the Marksman missed the mark. I like the EVH ones, the FB is good, but other than that, there's not really that many options for metal, in my opinion. So, that's going to be interesting seeing if Fender adds more models in the future, or hopefully even like a capturing unit as well. But with the Marksman, I just couldn't get it to sound necessarily good. I mean, I set it up like I would set up a regular, Mark II C+, but that doesn't necessarily sound like a Mark II. So you basically have to use some sort of an overdrive to make them sound tight and nice for metal, for instance. But that sounds good though. Also, I think I just discovered a bug with the app. Look, when I click the amplifier, it shows the overdrive. Okay, look, okay, I want to check the metal gate. I get the overdrive. I want to check the IR. I get nothing. I click the amplifier, I get the overdrive. So, they still need to work out a couple of, things with the app. Here's a preset I made of a dual rectifier. Sounds pretty good. And then I made a Pantera preset as well. So I have a EQ in the front right there. I have the green box. I have, oh look, now when I click the amplifier, it opens up the impulse response. So yeah, fix this, please. But I'm using one of my own impulse responses called Bind that you can purchase on my website. Oh, nice plug, Ola. Holy shit. But yeah, I, made this Pantera type of sound right here. Not too bad. So, you know, I got a couple of really good sounds going with maybe 2 or 3 amplifiers. The Uber, the EVH, and the Wrecker, which is the Mesa rectifier. So I would personally like to see more amplifiers being available, or as I mentioned before, a capturing feature so I can capture my preamps or something like that. Also, something I wanted to do, because a lot of people are obviously drawing parallels with the Quad Cortex. The thing I want to do is that I just want to plug in the Quad Cortex and kind of remind myself how that sounds. I'm using the Quad Cortex now when I'm playing live with the Honda, and I'm actually not using any of the amplifier sims on this thing. I'm using a capture that I did of an Englund Powerball preamp. So I'm actually using then, you know, a captured preamplifier, and that goes into, you know, a power amplifier and a cabinet on stage. But I kind of want to quickly just, you know, jump into this and see and hear, remind myself basically if it sounds better or not. Also, as I have both of them here right now, you know, it's also nice to be able to compare, you know, how it will fare on the stage. And I would say immediately that the spacing on the buttons are way wider and bigger on the Fender Tone Master, which is definitely a plus in my opinion. I mean, you have the same amount of buttons down here. You have 5 and 2 rows, but on the Quad Cortex, it is a little tricky to kind of push one of the buttons with your feet, especially for me, like when I'm on stage and I have shoes on. Sometimes I press, like if I want to press F right here, I press B, and fucks up my jive, man. Let me just quickly try this. Okay, so this is my capture right here. And also, I did set up this preset with connecting to a power amplifier in mind. So if there's a difference in low mids, if you compare it to the Fender Pro Master, it's because of that, okay? Also, as I'm working this, I feel that the touchscreen on the Quad Cortex is way easier to navigate, and it's real responsive. On this, you know, sometimes it doesn't register that I'm clicking, and I think it's because it has this glass shielding right there. So if there's a beer bottle on this, it will break, I guess, because it's completely unprotected. But here, you do have this glass panel, and for live, you know, I would probably prefer this, but it's just a lot more responsive on the Quad Cortex when it comes to the response. In terms of inputs and outputs, Quad Cortex has basically what you need. It doesn't have an amp control, does it? I don't think it does, no. And you know, the Fender Tone Master Pro has 4 loops. I would probably not ever use 1 loop even, so having 4 effects loop on the Fender Tone Master is definitely unnecessary for my type of setup. The Quad Cortex is a lot smaller, and I think in terms of the signal paths, I think you can use more stuff on the Quad Cortex itself. While I think that the presets and the signal paths on the Tone Master is somewhat limited. As Fender released the Tone Master, Quad Cortex came along and lowered the price of the Quad Cortex. So now they're at the same price basically. So yeah, I think sound-wise they're probably on par. You can probably make something similar on the Quad Cortex as on the Tone Master Pro. I guess it's more about, okay, what appeals the most to you? Having as small of a unit as possible, then probably go with the QC. If you want to have a rigid that probably takes a little bit more and it has a little bit more spacing on the buttons, probably the Fender Tone Master. For live, I'm not completely sure I'm going to switch to the Fender. I'm going to stay with the Quad Cortex for now. But, you know, it's going to be interesting seeing what they add to the Fender Tone Master Pro. And maybe, you know, as the weeks come, maybe I'll do some, you know, maybe I'll do some more presets that I really, really like. And then maybe I can bring it out on tour with me. So there you go. 1 week later. How is the Fender Tone Master Pro? I think it's still pretty good, but they need to add more amplifiers into this thing, or a capturing feature, maybe. All right, hope you enjoyed this little short video, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.